So I just checked out this documentary called Bastards of Young about the emo scene of the early 2000s, and holy shit did it suck. So in honor of that hot garbage, I'm going to recommend you some far superior music docs. I guess I just have to accept the fact that there's never going to be a decent film made about the emo scene.
It's still real to me, damn it!
And the guard is up.
You have to intervene.
Frisking everyone at the door.
Prepared.
That's exactly right. 240 security guards.
This is actually one of the first music docs I've ever seen. It follows the band in the studio and on tour for their '91 release, The Black Album. This documentary gives us the band how we all want to see them, drunk and unhinged. Not like the Metallica now, all sober and healthy. This is Metallica when they were still considered alcoholica, so everything they did was entertaining. It's cool to see these guys crafting these songs in the studio and seeing just how excited they were about making music, not even knowing that they were recording what would become one of the best-selling heavy metal albums of all time. My favorite part is when they're watching that like softcore porn Madonna did in the 90s, and Lars is like, "Madonna's always taking chances, it's so good."
Madonna always takes chances, it's so good.
People they call the headbangers, people they call the freaks.
No Room for Rockstar is the documentary about the 2010 run of the Vans Warped Tour and the bands who played on it along with the people who helped put it together. The main artists they follow are Never Shout Never, Forever Came Calling, and Mike Bitch-Ass Posner. The band Forever Came Calling was actually seen following the Vans Warped Tour city to city selling CDs, and the filmmakers just kinda asked them to be in the film. So that's awesome. And at the end they even get to play a date on the tour. One of the things that's so special about this documentary is that it came out a little before Mitch Lucker's death in late 2012. So a lot of people that watched this documentary for the first time was after his passing. So that makes his portion of the film so much heavier, hearing him talk about how much he hates being away from his family, but he has to provide for them. It's a really emotional watch. One of the funniest scenes in the movie is where that band Forever Came Calling, who's been following this tour since California, I might add, just completely runs out of money in Milwaukee, and they all just sit against the van and just start weeping. Like, what the fuck, dude? What were you guys even planning? You're following the Vans fucking Warped Tour for 3,000 miles across the country on the off chance that people will buy enough CDs of your band that nobody knows about so you can pay for gas? It's fucking stupid, but it tickles me every time.
Massive hooks, but also really smart verses, and that's always going to be there. Their voices aren't changing.
Can I just say how great the production value in this is? Like, holy shit. The animation, the Freaks and Geeks intro, this is what documentaries can be when you just put a little love and time into your work. This is basically the biography of the Philadelphia-based band Modern Baseball and how they met and how the band came to be. Every time I've watched this documentary, I'm just thinking, fuck, Brandon's cool. Like, the kid is just a poet, and he doesn't give a shit about what he dresses like or what people think. Dude's just a badass. The film talks about the lead singer's problems with mental health and his suicide attempt that would ultimately lead to him getting treatment before the recording of their 2016 album, Holy Ghost. I highly recommend all of these, but this one really sticks with me, and you should definitely watch it. It has a running time of 17 minutes and 33 seconds, but don't let that scare you away. It's short, sweet, and to the point, kind of like Modern Baseball. If you don't know what this one is, basically it's about Blink-182 inviting their friends from this little random band called Cut You Up to join them on this giant tour with Green Day and Jimmy Eat World. Blink-182 and Green Day were some of the biggest bands back then, so it's really cool to see all the production that went into these shows, especially through the eyes of these stupid drunk kids from San Diego. By the end of the movie, everybody is best friends, and Cut You Up gets to play Green Day's huge-ass audience on one of the last days of the tour, so it's fucking cool.
This is a song about two guys that just want to be friends, but there's feelings, greater feelings than that involved, and it's like they have trouble just hanging out together and having a good time without, like, sometimes just like looking into each other's eyes, you know, like this, like when you look at your friend, you're like, kind of want to kiss you.
The best part of the movie is when the singer of Cut You Up gets his ass branded, and he has to go to the hospital because of how ridiculously burnt his ass got. And when the nurse asks him what happened, he's like,
Fell down on a hot poker.
Dumb motherfucker.
man, if you like shirtless Australians jumping into rivers, then this is a doc for you. Seriously, is Parkway Drive the manliest fucking band ever? Throughout the movie, these guys are surfing, skateboarding, riding motorcycles, and still having enough energy to play shows every night. What the fuck? I've never had my masculinity so challenged before. This film basically follows a band as they travel to play shows in places they never imagined they could play, like China, Guatemala, Calcutta. When they play in India, they play in one of the poorest cities, and yet they still manage to draw at least 100 kids to watch. It's so awesome seeing these fans so fucking stoked to see one of their favorite bands in their hometown, and all the while Parkway Drive is so humble about it. Like, these guys never cease to amaze me. What I like about this one so much is how happy these guys are to be traveling the world, performing their songs to anyone who will hear them. They do cool shit like surfing everywhere they go, and they just know how to have fun with what they're doing. And to me, that is like the epitome of life. Do what you love and have fun doing it. If you don't like metalcore, I still recommend it. It'll get you pumped as shit though, so be prepared to have a midlife crisis after watching this. Well, that about does it for this list. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more vids like this, and don't let that music scene die. Support your local music scene today.
I'll be Harley Quinn. You be Joker.